We're about to dive into a conflict, but it's not one fought with swords and arrows. It's a battle within the soul itself, and it's all centered around one of the most powerful ideas of duty ever imagined. Just take a second and really put yourself in that position. What if your duty, the one thing you're supposed to do, meant you had to tear down everything you hold sacred? Your family, your traditions, everything. What on earth would you do?
So, let's set the scene. We're on this massive, legendary battlefield, Kurukshetra. And right there in the middle of it all is Arjuna, maybe the greatest warrior alive. But the problem isn't a lack of courage, not at all. It's a crisis of conscience, because when he looks across that field, he doesn't just see an enemy army. He sees his family, his cousins, his beloved teachers, even his grandfathers.
And you can just feel the despair in his words here. This isn't just, oh, I don't really want to fight. No, this is something much deeper. He's saying he would literally rather die, unarmed and unresisting, than take part in what he feels is a terrible, terrible sin. It's an absolute cry of anguish.
So what's really going on here? See, his fear isn't just about the bloodshed of war. It's about something way bigger. He's terrified of breaking his most sacred duty, what's known as his Dharma. This is his duty to his family, to his entire lineage, to the very fabric of his world.
Okay, so to really get why Arjuna is just frozen, we have to unpack this idea of Dharma. The best way to think about it is like a huge, ancient, sacred tree. You know, the roots are the ancestors, the strong trunk is the family itself, and the branches reaching for the sky are the current generations. Everything is connected, part of one sacred whole.
So Dharma is basically the eternal set of duties that holds a family together. It's not just about being a good person, day to day. It was seen as a cosmic responsibility. The idea was that following it kept society in harmony, it honored the ancestors, and, this is a big one, it ensured the purity of the family lineage.
And this whole concept really stands on three main pillars. First up, you've got the purity of the family line. That was absolutely non-negotiable. Second, you had to perform the sacred rites for your ancestors to make sure they were at peace in the afterlife. And third, there was the specific role of women, who were really seen as the guardians of that family purity and honor.
And I mean, just listen to this quote from the Manu Smriti, an ancient book of law. It really shows you how serious these roles were. This wasn't just a friendly suggestion. It was considered divine law. The belief was that the stability of the entire world, not just the family, depended on every single person playing their part, exactly as prescribed.
Okay, so now we can really understand Arjuna's terror, right? He's looking at this war, and he's not just seeing a battle. He's seen a poison that's about to seep right into the roots of that sacred family tree we talked about. He's envisioning a total collapse of everything, like a spiritual and social apocalypse.
And there's a specific name for this nightmare scenario he's imagining: Varna Sankara. It basically means the confusion of social orders, or the mixing of castes. And in the worldview of the time, this was the absolute worst-case scenario. It meant a complete breakdown of society, a kind of hell on earth.
Arjuna's mind is just racing, picturing this terrible chain reaction, like dominoes falling. He thinks, okay, if the men die in the war, lawlessness will take over. That chaos will then corrupt the women of the family. And that leads directly to Varna Sankara, the mixing of bloodlines. He believes this sends the entire family, living and dead, straight to hell, because who will be left to make the sacred offerings to the ancestors? So in his mind, this one act of fighting literally destroys everything.
But right here, in this moment of total despair, when Arjuna is completely frozen and all seems lost, his guide, Krishna, steps in, and he offers a completely different way of looking at the problem, a higher path, a new understanding of what duty even means.
And this is a game changer. What the Gita teaches is that real duty, true Dharma, isn't just about blindly following a list of external rules. The most important thing is the intention behind what you do. It's about your inner state of being. It's about why you're doing it.
So you can see this incredible contrast here. On one hand, you have Dharma, that societal duty. It's all about external rules, tradition, preserving the family, and it's often rooted in fear of what might happen if you don't. But then Krishna introduces this idea of Swadharma, your own personal spiritual duty. And that is all about internal selflessness, about aiming for spiritual freedom, and crucially, doing your duty without being attached to the outcome.
And this is really the ultimate answer Krishna gives him. He says, Arjuna, act. But don't act for yourself or for a kingdom or even for your family duty, your cold dharma. He tells him to act as an instrument of the divine, to take refuge in a higher power. And by doing that, he's freed from that crushing weight of the consequences. His duty is just to act, to do the right thing, and to let go of the results.
And you know, this ancient dilemma, it really brings up a question for every single one of us, even today. We've all felt that pull, right? Between what our family expects, what society tells us to do, and that deeper, inner voice that might be calling us to a different path. The Gita doesn't give us a simple, easy answer. Instead, it leaves us with the most important question of all. When your duties are in conflict, where does your true duty lie?